Welcome to Ancient Greece and Persia. This is Melinda Klein. The rocky peninsula of Greece was the home of the civilization that fundamentally shaped Western civilization and nurtured a culture that eventually spread its essence, concepts, and values throughout the world. The history of the Greeks and their culture is divided into two broad periods from approximately 2000 BC to the unification of Greece under Macedonian rule by 338 BC with the coming of Philip II and later his son Alexander the Great. The second period is Alexander's achievements for Greece and the spread of their culture from the Mediterranean to North Africa, to southern Europe and Asia, as well from 336 BC. This period, the Hellenistic era, comprised the Alexander years and end with the Roman conquest of the Hellenistic East. Greek people were shaped by their environment. Their soil was poor, mountainous, rocky, and dry, but they produced specialty items such as surpluses of olive oil, pottery, because they had great clays, and wine. The first Greek civilization dates back to about 2000 BC with the arrival of the Minoans. We're not sure where they came from. The Minoans were sea travelers and fishermen. They exported pottery, wine, and olive oil. Around 14,000 BC, their civilization disappeared or was conquered. This was accomplished by the Mycenaeans, the first Greeks. Unlike the Minoans, they had Greek language and religion. In 1600, they came from the north of Greece and conquered the Minoan civilization. By 1100 BC, all Mycenaean cities were destroyed. Barbarians took over. In essence, there was a civil war and the invaders won. The intellectual, artistic, and political center ceased to exist. On Anatolia, east coast of present-day Turkey, as legend reveals, existed a city that Greeks in the 12th century BC could not conquer. This was Troy. The story of the Trojans first began in myth and legend. According to Greek mythology, the Trojans were the ancient citizens of the city. Although part of Asia, Troy is presently in the legend as part of the Greek culture of the city-states. Troy was known for its riches, gained from port trade with East and West, fancy clothes, iron production, and massive defensive walls. The Trojan royal family was started, according to this legend, by Electra and Zeus. Greek epic poetry such as the Iliad and later the Odyssey gave later Greeks a legendary past filled with heroes. These became standardized texts in educating Greek males. These poems instilled in youths the aristocratic values of courage and honor, and that it was vital to strive for excellence befitting a hero. This honor was sought through contest or struggle. This hero had to have a willingness to fight, protect his family, his friends, and protect his own and his family's honor. Greek people during the Archaic Age made a dramatic recovery in their culture, politics, art, and society. Greece became populated again with Greek speakers, with their religion and culture ethnically Greek. We are not sure where the Greeks returned from, but population in urban centers and trade continued through this period, and at the same time, they learned about the alphabet and improved upon borrowed technologies from foreigners, making them their own. The most important technology imported during the Archaic Age into Greece was iron. This technology of forged metal was made into necessary items such as armor. This technology created a new type of Greek soldier, the hoplite, who possessed iron armor and weapons. The introduction of iron and the introduction of the hoplite led to the creation of the polis, a unique type of city-state where soldiers became the political citizens. As hoplites, free Greek men could vote. Armor and weapons produced out of iron were less expensive than copper ones. This allowed more Greek citizens access to political power by becoming hoplites. All hoplites were self-funded soldiers. They provided their own armor and weapons. It is important to remember that Greek states did not pay wages or pay for hoplite equipment. This was for the soldiers. Thus, hoplites were from wealthy to middle-class families. The standard vessel in the Mediterranean by the 6th century BC was the trireme. For the Persian navy, the rowers were slaves and convicted criminals who were to be killed anyway. Greeks used free men in their navy and were more careful about sea battles, more concerned over the loss of life. Unlike the Greeks, the Persian army was populated with draftees and military convicts. Also, they did not have the privilege of having body armor and iron weapons. By the 6th century BC, the Persian Empire was the greatest in the Mediterranean. Under their king, Cyrus II, this empire enjoyed unity for 30 years and expanded in size. This was accomplished by conquering weaker states, bringing these areas into the empire and making them subject to Persian rule. Conquered peoples had to pay taxes to Persia. They had to serve in the army or navy when asked. If these territorial peoples did this, they were left alone. Persian rule kept the peace, but most people hated the Persians. Fear kept the people alive, but conquered. A conquered Greek city-state, Ionia, stood up and revolted against Persian rule in 499. Unfortunately for the Ionians, even with the help of Athenians and those from Eretria, by 494 the rebellion had been squashed. King Cyrus of Persia swore revenge on Eretria and Athens for attempting to help Ionia in their rebellion. However, this duty did not fall to him, but fell to his son, Darius I. In 490, Darius had his opportunity for revenge. He sent an army of 20,000 soldiers to Greece, along with the navy. With only 10,000 hoplites to fight against Persia's 20,000, the Greek hoplites, for them, it was a huge upset, as they won against the mighty Persian army, and 7,000 Persians were killed and the rest fled. 132 Greek hoplites died. While the Persians lost at Marathon, their king and his son did not lose the dream of taking revenge on Athens. 6 years after the battle, the son and heir and new king of Persia, Xerxes, succeeded his father. Themistocles, an important and influential Athenian politician, suggested that they needed a new navy with new triremes and that Xerxes was coming back. And the Persians did come back, and they burnt Athens to the ground. But through brilliant strategy, the Athenians won the war nonetheless. After a final land war in 479, the Persians were driven out of Greece for good, never to return, and this is remembered as the start of the Greek classical age.